middle management of men, Wesley Fox. A tamer of building codes and fires, Alan Yanis. And he delivers for America, Andrew Murr. Together, they are the Middle Class Holes.
Oh, I should have wore that shirt. Ah, well. It's to be determined. Anyway, I know you boys are excited. Alan, you in particular, with your Catholic upbringing and your years and years and years of Catholic school, with the new Pope. I mean, were you doing double heel clicks? Were you doing Hail Marys?
You know it.
Did you go outside and smoke a stogue?
I was looking up flights to Italy. Directly to the Vatican. I don't know that they have an airport, but I would have figured it out. Helicopter, something. Nope, didn't really care at all. I already did my time. Well, just a little. I guess it's only because I think the pomp and circumstance is interesting. Like, I find the process and like the ceremony of it all, like from a historical perspective, that shit's interesting. From a religious perspective, don't care.
Look, I don't care from a religious perspective per se, but I do think it's like, I don't know, man. It's times like these when you didn't know it was coming and America won, and you're like, fuck yeah, we're we're the Pope now, bitches. Yeah. We're the Pope now. USA, men, motherfuckers. We poping all over your ass. We got everything. We got the nukes. We got the Pope. We got the president. We got this. Kiss my dick. Lick it. Amen. I don't know, man. There's just something about like America owning like the biggest like Christian church in all the world, being back in charge of the billions upon billions
around the world.
I mean, it is crazy to think about.
Yeah, smoking.
Pope Leo the 14th? Is that what it was?
Yes.
14th, okay.
Leo the Lion, the American lion, from the most corrupt city in all the lands, Chicago. My God.
I like how they had to throw in all that he's a Villanova graduate. He's a big Cubs fan. He's a huge Cubs fan.
Oh, sick.
Well, this leads me to my first question, Wes. You know, based on history, that the picking of a pope is absolutely as political as anything else that exists in the world. Religions aside, all the belief system and all that. Why now? 2,000 years, 200 and some odd popes later. Why is it now an American pope? Right now, 2025. Why they do it?
Ooh, I mean, all the cardinals. It's a very strict voting system. I'd have no idea, man. Do you want me to say Donald J. slipped in he stuffed the ballot?
No, I don't know. I'm not.
He greased some red. Whatever the hell they wear.
I think there's a philosophy that goes into like where your pope is from. I mean, they get it for life. I mean, he's 69. Hey, 69, America, Chicago. Fuck you. So my thing is, people have left the church. The world's in disarray. We got the Jews and the Muslims fighting in their backyard right now. We got India and Pakistan. They're throwing down. We got Ukraine and Russia. They're throwing down. America's sitting here like, we got the weapons. We got the money. We got the tariffs. We got the Pope. I'm just thinking they picked an American Pope because we are still the cultural influence that gets around the world based on movies, television shows, everything like that. I think they need to bolster the church again. They need to get Christians back in the pews. And the best way to do that is with some good old-fashioned Hollywood-esque American propaganda, baby.
That's probably not a terrible actual theory. Other than other than the fact that he's like, well, one, I think El Presidente pissed off the Catholics not that long ago, if I remember correctly. And then
Forgive me.
And then part two is he's not exactly a conservative pope or choice, for pope. You know what I mean? I don't know that he's going to line real well with America.
I know nothing.
I
know nothing about him. All I know is I need a red, white, and blue bonnet on that bastard's head.
That's fair.
I
wanted to make. I didn't get the chance to sit down and make a meme, but I was going to be like, I was going to try to get like a ChatGPT kind of AI'd like version of them, and then play them over some like Chicago fucking trap music.
Oh,
Like,
I thought you were actually gonna play Chicago.
Nope. Real shiesty
Sweet Home
shit.
Chicago. I was thinking maybe do something where you implant his face over Carl Weathers in Rocky IV when he comes out to fight Dolph Lundgren. You know,
Good.
living in America.
Yeah,
Come on.
that didn't end well, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he died. James Brown is dead. Carl Weathers is dead. They're in a better place now.
But long live the USA Pope. I don't know, man. Like I said, I have nothing to do with the Catholic Church. I don't go to church. I ain't gone to church since I was like 12 years old. But when I was again, anytime America wins something that we're not supposed, like we win curling, I'm like, fuck yeah, curling's amazing. Now all of a sudden I'm like, fuck yeah, Catholicism's amazing. I love the Pope.
Seems to be the Catholic Church and anything in the Winter Olympics. Merg gets a
Yeah,
semi.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, just as long as we win. If we don't win, I'm like, meh, whatever. That wasn't our event anyway. Papacy hasn't been our thing.
Yeah, the luge isn't necessarily our forte.
Yeah.
We don't have too many luge tracks here in the States. A coworker of mine, gentleman, he's a year or two older than me, kind of sees eye to eye with me on a lot of things, was asking, it's kind of a weird audience at my workplace, and no one could give a definitive answer, but they were like, what power does he have?
In what respect?
I think it's, in his eyes, it's nothing political. So exactly what power does he have? Is it power of persuasion? Is it power of 1.4 billion people who, are devout? Is it, I have no idea. I couldn't answer. And as a matter of fact, I just kind of pretended I wasn't listening.
Well,
just kind of listening to what someone else would say.
Alan's a Catholic, but Alan, correct me if my oversimplification is wrong here, but it's like, huh? What's that? Oh, God said that we don't do this now. And then he preaches that from his little, he says it in Latin, then it's translated to the peons below. And then it's like, we don't eat carrot cake anymore. And it's like, then magically overnight, a couple billion people, they don't eat carrot cake anymore.
Carrot cake's off the menu. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it is how it works. He is infallible. So, when he's like, yep, carrot cake's fucking sin, you should get murdered. That's Catholic doctrine now. That's just how it is. Yeah.
And carrot cake represents our X variable here. So insert whatever social, political, stance people have, and now they either hold that stance or they don't. And if they do, they go to heaven, and if they don't, they go straight to the burning inferno of Hades.
So he's most in touch with God. What's the pool that they have to select from? How many cardinals? Is it a couple dozen?
No, it's a couple hundred, I believe.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh. I didn't know if you had
that's why it takes like a week
and
to get them all together, or like a week or two to get them all together.
Yeah, that's why this is kind of interesting. It was so fast because it was like 2 votes. And
it was super quick.
Usually it's multiple votes, so basically it means that and I think it has to. It's like a super majority in the Senate. Like you don't just win by basic majority. It has to be two thirds of the Cardinals, and so that means that the first time they voted, it must have been like, oh shit, Leo's got this. Next time around, let's pass them out. Everybody get your papyrus and your goat's blood. Let's fill out another ballot, and then it was done.
Oh, I did not know that. There are 200 as of today. There are 251 cardinals, of whom 134 are eligible to vote in a conclave.
So 134. And I wonder how many of those, out of that group had a realistic shot. You know what I mean? You have how many people run for president? A couple dozen? Yeah, a handful. Okay.
It's usually 6. They always say there's usually 6 in the running, and they're usually geographically picked, like an African pope, a South American pope. Mm-hmm. There hasn't really ever been a North American pope in the running, from what I understand.
No, not in the legit running. He might have made the bottom of the list. Hey guys, I'm here, and they were like, yeah. Anyway,
he's showing some promise. Maybe then 2 more papacies if he's still alive.
Yeah. They're just it's like you keep putting Pete Rose on the ballot, but he just doesn't get votes. You know what I mean? It's cause same principle. They're just like,
gotcha.
Nah, man. Yeah. So I mean, I guess that's cool. It was very fast. That's cool. I don't like having to fucking hear about it for a month.
I just loved everybody losing their minds because the Trump the Trump AI picture. I mean, good Lord, man, we have lost our collective fucking minds in this fucking country. Like that's. I mean, look, is it president?
Like it.
Is it? No, that's the thing. Is like everybody with a sense of humor thought it was just funny. I mean, it's not presidential, duh. But has anything this guy done in the last fucking 10 years been presidential? No. It's like you're screaming.
Yeah.
I don't know, like you're screaming at a WWF villain for using a steel chair. It's like, bah, what are you doing? Like, he's doing exactly what he does.
Shouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Shouldn't
Well,
have
the
let
good guy uses it.
Shouldn't have let him do it in the first place, but here we are.
Here we are. Exactly. Thank you. That's the philosophy I think more people need to carry through their lives today. It's like, well, here we are. Just let it play out. 115 days. It's gonna be a long roller coaster, folks.
Yeah. It's like the Merovingian in Matrix Reloaded.
The track may or may not be completed on the other end of this thing.
And in fact, we're just going to start it, and we're going to keep welding as we go. So
it's
just hang on.
It's like Roller Coaster Tycoon. Did you ever play Roller Coaster Tycoon back in the day?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, fucking just don't finish those bad boys and send them off. Used to send them off into I'd build a pond, and you just have a bunch of them fucking drowning because for some odd reason they can't swim.
Because of that game, somebody designed an actual assisted suicide roller coaster.
Oh yeah, I think I did hear about this.
It has like super duper looper loops, Wes, and like they progressively get like smaller, but that just means the G-force gets larger. And so what happens is on the first one it's like yay, and the second one's like okay, this is getting. And by the third one you've passed out, and then by 5, 6, 7 you're dead. All the blood left your brain.
Interesting. So everyone who rode that coaster died. This is in Roller Coaster Tycoon.
It's theoretical, but some of those Nordics were talking about it.
Yeah. There's a really good, it's a montage or a collage on YouTube. You can find it. It's basically someone builds a coaster to where it shoots out into where a lot of people are congregating, a main walk path, but it's to the tune of Older by They Might Be Giants, which is a really fucking weird and morbid song. It's about 2 minutes long. Check that out, folks. Middle class loves everyone. Foxman, Alan, and Murr, thank you for joining us. Murr, you had an interesting little like did something with your son, right?
Oh yeah, no. This is the thing. If you guys, you guys are still of a childbearing age, and I will tell you this: the things your parents did to you that you hated them for, it's almost like you owe them an apology, and you will become a hypocrite. Little mouse, it's that time of year, and got one snapped in the old trap, and I'm coming downstairs with the plastic bags, and he's like, it's not in the bag, is it? I'm like, yeah, sure is. And then I bring the bag close to him, and the ear-curdling pitch of that fucking 10-year-old voice box, just like, and my dad used to do the same shit to me, except my dad was a little more ballsy than I am, and he'd come with me with the tail, just fucking, in my face, and then I would scream, a blood-curdling scream. Oh, man, but the joy that you get from a unwarranted level of fear, it's just amazing. Can't really put a price on that. Can't really put a description on there. It's not in the bag,
is it? No, it's right here.
And even after I showed him the bag was empty, I walked away for like 2 seconds. I turned around. I put it back in his face. And it's amazing, man. It's amazing. The shit your parents did, now you understand. Like what you were pissed off at them about back in the day. It's just fucking hilarious. It's just good, solid dad fun.
Yeah. This is, now you're kicking the tires on the old or reminding me of some stories of my youth. I remember I had an all-star team, baseball, that was doing really well. And it was in Rising Sun. It was every day. Okay. And we ended up playing, I think, like 7 or 8 days in a row. And my dad, when we finally got beat, we got in the losers bracket, which means when you get to the final, you have to beat the team in the winner bracket twice. They have to beat you once. We beat them once. And then it went to a 1-game playoff, and they ended up beating us at the end. And my dad was like, I'm not going to say I would have loved to have traveled and see where you guys went, but man, this has been a long week. Man, this has been rough. And hearing a friend of ours, a mutual friend of ours, Mara Stephanie, her son, it was the same thing, but it was in Chesapeake City, and she was like, "Fuck,
Yeah.
It's like a 45-minute drive every day, and they're so good. They're so good. They keep winning."
I've been practicing my all shucks buddy speech, and it just won't come to play. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I take him to jiu-jitsu 4 days a week.
Damn.
I am this is like my only free night. Like I'm fucking spent. Of course I want him to do well, but I would like a late evening nap every now and again just to get up and grind it away the next day. But yeah. And then when he's only had one tournament. Yeah, dude, I can't imagine. I don't know what these parents, I feel inferior to other parents, like knowing the energy they possess, the money they must have, and the free time at their disposal. I don't get it.
And some of these things, like cheerleading competitions, these things are year long, and these parents are spending entire weekends at renting, getting hotel rooms for Friday and Saturday night, so young Jennifer can compete, Friday, Saturday and Sunday, at hour-long drives. It's just some of that shit is, I don't know. I feel like I might just have a radius. Like if it's outside of this, sorry, man.
No, you just
carpool with someone else.
You'll just have a kid that goes to tech school. You just go ahead and throw away your dreams of professional athlete because they're gone. They're done. It doesn't happen. If you're not willing to do that, that's why like every time I see these ball players, football, baseball, whatever, like, and the first thing they say is like, this is for you, mom and dad. All those week, I'm like, yeah, all the like, what's his face? Sean. Think about Sean White, the skateboarder / snowboarder. His parents had to drag him off mountain to fucking mountain. They ain't close by.
Yeah, Alan, you remember Clint Dempsey?
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing. He was getting toted all over the state of Texas for tournaments Saturday and Sunday by his parents. Like, yeah, I mean, sometimes it was 3-hour drive there, 3-hour drive back home. Get up in the morning, go 3-hour drive. It's like,
yeah. See, the problem is like nowadays, kids who aren't good enough to have to be playing schedules like that, play schedules like that, because leagues pop up and teams form because fucking coaches fucking grift off of parents who are like, yeah, here's $5,000, get us in some tournaments, and fucking, that guy's fucking got a new car a month later. Fucking, I used to travel for baseball. My brothers travel for baseball, like for other shit like that. So like that shit was fun, but like at the end of the day, 99% or maybe 98% of y'all ain't doing shit. You probably ain't even playing high school baseball. You probably ain't fucking playing college baseball. Maybe some junior college if you're good. And fucking if you're a good junior college player, you usually will jump to D1 anyway, or D3 or D, something fucking bigger than that. So like, not a lot of kids are going to do that, period. Like, it is what it is. So revive Little League, man. Get your kids into some Little Leagues. Tell your parents of fucking other kids, your kids' friends, tell them to fucking do some Little League. It kind of sucks, but it's kind of okay. And it's kind of cool, and it helps your community. It's fucking way better than paying thousands of dollars to go let your kid, who's definitely not going to go anywhere with it, like, even in high school. Like, he's probably going to get cut freshman year, and you're going to be like, oh, sorry. He sucks. Stop saving the money. Take him on vacation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And tell some of those parents to ump as well. That way they can get a taste of their own fucking medicine.
Yeah,
and
that's
so screaming at umpires about fucking strike calls, balls and strikes, and out at first.
Yeah,
you chumps.
100%. You should I think all parents should have to umpire. They should have to take the little umpiring class and get your little rule book and fucking learn some shit. And, ask questions of a person who's been around the game longer than your stupid ass has been playing fantasy baseball. Like, fucking, I think that's a great idea, Wes. I approve.
Yeah.
Well, my question is, do you think that travel ball has actually ruined some of the talent in baseball? And this is my, and we'll focus on one area. We'll say like pitching, right? So you got this kid who's on a travel ball team. He's a pitcher. That coach has some pull, like with high school coaches and things like that. aren't there kids that probably aren't getting looked at because, like, Billy, like you said, Alan, paid like $25,000 over a 5-year stretch to, get his credentials up so he can get a starting gig. I don't know, man. The Dominican guys ain't playing fucking like the $5,000 a year travel ball. The fucking like the
Cubans,
guys, the
Puerto
Cubans,
Ricans,
the ones that are
Venezuelan,
the ones that are coming up that are from foreign countries that are outperforming, like black kids aren't even playing baseball anymore. The ones that you see on the field that are dark complexion are from the Caribbean. Like they're not from your urban cities of America. They don't do that. The white kids, hey, we got ourselves a Gunnar Henderson and a Jackson Holiday, but
I was like, there's two schools of baseball now. It's Dominicans, and like that's even kind of an umbrella term at this point. There's a couple Venezuelans probably,
Sure.
Mexican or two, some Puerto Ricans, definitely a bunch of Puerto Ricans, but but mostly Dominicans. And then you're like all of the white boys are just corn-fed country boys that play ball, and that's not surprising. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or guys Florida, Texas.
Guys that noodle catfish, real strong fucking forearms and shit. You know what I mean? And fucking got hit a 90 mph baseball, man. You gotta have a special set of skills. But
they all hunt.
Yeah, man. I do think I think travel like that. The pay to play has ruined a lot of sports. U.S. soccer is the biggest culprit, I would say. It's that's why U.S. soccer fucking sucks, because you have parents whining to a manager at a fucking World Cup about playing time for their 19-year-old son. Like, that's the culture in America for fucking especially pay to play soccer. Which is everything. There is no there are very few rec soccer leagues, and it's not well established like Little League or something. You know what I mean? But yeah, same shit with baseball. Same shit with probably basketball. I don't know. I don't fucking play that.
Yeah.
I didn't play that sport, but yeah.
A good friend of ours, Jimbo, was saying his son's good enough to play travel lacrosse, but the expense of it is obviously the money. It's that's the only sport he's going to play.
He's good enough because some guy was like, "Hey man, you want to pay me fucking couple grand? Get your kid a couple man." And I'm sure he's probably great. Like that's not a slight to anyone. I'm just saying that's how that shit works. Like I pitch grifts to Kelly all the time. I'm like, "Come on, man. Let's do this. Let's start a fucking softball team or something." She's like, "Nope, you're gonna fucking rob people." I was like, "Yeah, probably." Yeah, because that's what the fucking game is. It is what it is.
His take on it was, one, it's year round. So, and he plays like two and a half other sports. And he said basically, he says, he has to give up all that. Mm-hmm. The other thing of it is, I'm telling my son, I coach your rec league. I never played lacrosse. Coaches aren't going to, scouts aren't going to come here or anyone from a college to come watch this. Or when you're in high school, they all go to the travel leagues. Mm-hmm. And here I am telling this kid, you have to make this decision. And it kind of, the kid decided not to do it because he likes playing other sports. And he said, it broke my heart a little bit, but I get it. It's his decision. But at the same time, I'm thinking like, God damn, these motherfuckers have you by the stones.
Yeah.
You're like, it's year round. January to January. Like, what?
Well, you know what? Because you can justify $20,000 spread out over 12 months. It fucking works out pretty nice. You know what I mean?
You're right. Indoor.
Yeah. Yep.
Anybody that's in like whatever world you're in, I don't care if you're in football, lacrosse, hockey, soccer, baseball, like anybody that's in that world is going to be like, boy, this is the most important sport that you're ever going to play because you're really good at this one. And if you want to be a professional at it, it's the only thing that you can do. And I don't think that's true. But it is the only, if you want to get to the professional level of a sport, yeah, that is the only thing you, like after you're maybe like 15, like you have to eat, breathe, sleep that shit. But yeah. I would just say, no offense to the lacrosse players across the country, not a lot of like retirement plans based on a professional lacrosse career.
No, but the way he's looking at it is a full ride to a college.
Yeah,
to,
that's
to
fine.
not have to pay out of his pocket.
But
you
to
know,
Alan's
and I think
point-
that the paradigm shift of that was you had to abandon the sports in college, not at 12. You know what I mean? You didn't have to abandon all the sports that you enjoyed playing.
Sure.
Well, I like playing
Yeah.
3-4 sports a year. Now it's like, okay, well, if you really want to, dig your feet in and learn the sport and get to a D1 school, you can't waste your time with basketball. You can't play soccer. You can't do crew.
Crew's kind of dope.
But to Alan's point, like from a financial standpoint, it sounds like you would pay about as much to, develop your travel ball career as it would to pay for a few semesters of college. So even if you didn't get a full ride in that one sport, the money you saved by not sending them off to do it just paid for the school that you'd get the full ride for any which way. Maybe not the full ride, but but at least you get to have a well-rounded life.
Yeah.
Doing
Yeah.
things you like.
And look, no knock to lacrosse. I kind of wish I played lacrosse. It looked like a fun sport. Like when I was like a junior, senior in high school, I was like, damn, I should have played lacrosse when I was younger. But what's a major league lacrosse player making? $60,000, $60,000,
I'd say- I think
$60 to $100,000.
Yeah, I'd say 100,000, mate. Well, let's just cap it at 100.
They're instructing summer camps when they're not playing.
That's
for
what I'm
scratch.
saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, for like a couple $100 too, and they're popping in at like UMBC. You know what I mean? Like it's not like the lacrosse circuit is star studded. There's like a couple major universities, and then you're popping into Towson. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, dope sport. Just I don't know.
Do you
Go
know-
something else is all I'm saying.
Do you know who one of the bigger proponents, at least from a professional level, professional athlete about kids playing multiple sports was?
I've heard
Famous professional athlete.
Probably a lot of people actually. I don't know.
I've heard a lot of
one of the
pro
more
athletes.
outspoken.
I've heard a lot of pro athletes say like, you want to be good at one sport, be good at all of them. But
Yeah.
It was Kobe.
Yeah.
Because he played a lot of tennis growing up in Italy, and he said it's not necessarily. Yeah, there were things about tennis that translated the being a one-on-one sport. No one's out there but you. There's some mental game to it. Obviously, cardiovascular, hand-eye coordination, footwork, and things like that. But he said it's shutting that sport off that you like. You know what I mean? You've played basketball for 4 months. You've given your heart, your will, your desire, every ounce of your being to it. You need to shut that valve off and give it a little bit of time to build back up. And when it comes back around, because as a child and then a teenager, you really don't have that full tank. He's like, most pros don't. Most of those fucking guys don't. Which I found kind of fascinating.
I mean, and that's why you see a lot of kids fucking be like, that are really good sometimes be like, nah, no thanks. I'm bored with it now.
Yeah.
Or I'm burned out with it. Or my parents push me
it
too
took a-
hard. Like,
Andre Agassi did a lot of drugs.
yeah, no, I mean,
Tiger
like
Wood-
kids
Tiger Woods hated his dad.
like high school prospects and shit like that. Like, they're just, I've known people around here, like my brother's age and my age, like they were just like, yeah, nah, I'm good. I'm done now. And they were very good at their sport. Like, potentially could have become... They were in that 1% to 2%.
yeah,
You know what I mean? That could probably almost make it, like, legit, get paid at least some amount of money to do that for a living. And we're just like, nah, I'm good.
well, that's. I mean, what I liked about playing other sports is like, so soccer was my my 1A. And then every other sport I played in high school, it was just like, this is just to get me through. And so it kept me like in shape. It kept me like, I mean, I'm competitive, so I still wanted to win at whatever I was doing. But it wasn't the end of the world if Andrew Murr didn't break, some pole vault record or something track. I wasn't like, I went home weeping in the car.
Did you pole vault?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I pole vaulted. I ran really fast and jammed the fucking like urethane fucking post into the ground.
That's pole vaulting.
Yeah, well, whatever I was doing was just like, I wouldn't call it pole vaulting.
Did you get
You've
up?
seen-
Like how? What was your best? Like
The highest I ever got was 10 feet.
Okay.
But I kind of like my absolute like I'll get over it. I'll get us 3 points was like 8 feet, something like that.
okay.
The poles at Perryville High School weren't necessarily meant
Thank you.
to meant to bend a whole lot. It was it's kind of more like a lumberjack type thing, maybe like a Scottish games.
Yeah, I rode a caber over top of a fucking. Dude, this is what's hilarious is the poles were expensive. We didn't have a lot of money, and Coach Davis, Doc, he bought the girls because they finally let girls pole vault. And so they didn't really, again, this is the 90s, they didn't really have girls-specific pole vaults, but they had weight-specific pole vaults. So he got like a 130-pound, like, flexi post. And I was like, oh, Doc, can I use these? Like, fuck, no, you can't use that. That's for the girls. You don't touch it. You break it. You're buying it. That one piece of material you got in your hands is about $500. I was like, but dude, it would bend. It flexed. The ones that we had were like, I don't know, maybe, you know, in her former life, Bruce Jenner might have used this thing because it was just it didn't flex. It was just a stiff, rigid fucking post.
It would have taken someone from the shot put discus team to make that thing flex. Okay, that thing was 300-pound test, and I watched Murr do it a few times, and it was like all it was speed and balls.
Oh yeah, that's it. That's all. That's basically the entire fucking sport.
Well, yeah, but no flex, no bend, no like no physics.
Well,
to pop you over that.
I think you have to be faster and stronger. I think that wasn't a slight there. I think that's how they're made.
Well, and this is the thing. I actually, because I got over 10 feet one time, I'd actually qualified because at Cecil County, there wasn't a high bar to get over. I qualified for states in the pole vault, and on the bus, like he's like, Murr, listen, you ain't competing in the pole vault today. I was like, why? He's like, just save your energy. It's not worth it. I'm like, nah, man, I'm doing it, man. He's like, and he's like, if you want to load up your pole, that's fine. He's like, but it's the first event. Get there, walk on over, see what you think. I walk over, they're warming up at 14 feet, and they're fucking. And dude, when they're planting these things, it's like. I'm like, what is that? What is this technology? What is this sorcery? How are they doing this?
Wait a minute, I came here for the pole vault. Is this? I think I came to the wrong station.
God, this is the slingshot, right? What is this event you're doing? So needless to say, I walked back. I was like, yeah, I think you're right. I'm just gonna save my energy for the 400 a little bit later on. I'll make my stand there. Thanks, sir.
Yeah. That sounds about right. That's a wild ass fucking sport.
Yeah, Murr graduated, then I came in as a freshman, and I was they were trying to find, you can compete in 4 sports, but he wanted me to compete in 7 or 8, maybe 9 sports throughout the year to kind of fine tune what I might be good at later on.
Events.
Yeah, events. Yeah. Sorry, what did I say? Sports?
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. No, events. And he had mentioned, I was dicking around with the pole. He's like, nah, put that down. This sport is for someone who has a screw loose. You look like you're a really refined gentleman, Fox. This isn't for you. Okay.
I mean, it is the one pole vaulter I knew in high school. He was really good too. I think he did it at UMBC. He was a maniac, kind of. Just a little. Just a little.
I had a lot of adrenaline and aggression in high school, so and I was small, but I was strong, so it was just like,
this guy was the same way, kind of. Actually.
Just let him off the. Yeah. So I think Doc was just like, you know what? Just let him off the leash. See what he can do.
Yeah. Go out there, earn a couple points. Yeah. 1, 3, 5.
He's like, get 3, dude. Just get third. Get us something on the board. He's like, otherwise it's just. It's basically, he's basically saying it's vacant points if we don't try, and if you can qualify, you help the team. I'm like, nah, fine, dude. Practice was great. I just run down, fucking. All I did was sprint and pole vault. I mean, that was, God. You want to talk about a great way to spend 2 hours of your afternoon? Just fucking hanging out with the boys, seeing girls in short shorts, and just sprinting, going full tilt every now and again. It's fun, good time.
Sprinting. Yeah.
Running around. Speaking of watching races, sperm races were in L.A. You didn't know about this sport.
Lead, man.
Phenomenal.
Ruin the lead.
That's the lead right there. And whoever came in first here wins the race. Murr, tell us about tonight's friend or foe.
Okay, well, tonight's friend or foe has to do with competition and what constitutes what a competition actually is. Let's get to it. Friend or foe, going to read a news story to you, see if you agree or disagree. Friend or foe, who won the world's first live sperm race, and what's it all about? Sperm race champ Tristan Milker. His name's Milker, too.
Nice.
That's written in the stars, man. That is. Oh man,
I didn't even realize it. I thought it was Minker because I don't have my glasses on, and I got to like, oh, nope, that's what it says. Sperm race champ Tristan Milker, who calls himself a fertility athlete and nutritional strategist. I can't read this word. Elucidates. Anyway, he talks about it on Instagram. Tristan Milker, a 20-year-old student, won the world's first live sperm race held in Los Angeles on April the 25th. He won a cash prize of $10,000. The event was held to raise awareness about the decline of male fertility. No, it wasn't held for that reason at all whatsoever. You wanted to find a way to jizz on a petri dish and put it on television for the world to see. Two university students, Tristan and Asher from USC and UCLA respectively, took part in the competition. Each of them provided their sperm samples for the race. A unique track that was 8 inches long and intended to resemble the female reproductive system was set up. Sperm had to swim across a narrow track to cross the finish line. To show viewers how sperm moves, they were magnified 100 times under a microscope and later animated in 3D. So basically they use like some female hormones at the end of this little track. They provide their sample. I mean, that would be part of the show if I'm a paying customer.
Yeah, that should be a part of the race. You know, if you can come faster, then get it into the dish. You know.
Yeah, it's from start to finish, baby.
Oh no.
So Tristan Milker is now proclaiming himself the world's first fertility athlete. Friend or foe? Is anything a competition just because there is a winner declared?
Yes.
Friend is yes. I mean, people gamble on coin tosses, for God's sake. But then would you call a coin toss a competition, I guess would be the question. Or foe? No, just because you can gamble on it and just because there can be a winner declared does not mean it is, in fact, a competition. Wes, let's start with you tonight.
I have a hard time with this one. I'm sorry.
Hard time.
A fertility? What did he say? A self-proclaimed fertility athlete?
Yes.
And he a good friend of ours says that men claim that they can do. There's things that men say they're the best at. It's sex, driving, cooking, a couple other things. Like I'm the best at it, and that makes my masculinity superior than any other man. And this what this boiled down to was my sperm is the fastest. No one fucking knows. Let alone Tristan Milker. What a fucking douche name that is. I mean, great name for this competition, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm the hoopla, the pop and circumstances. There was pop and circumstance. There was, I don't know, a couple hundred people at this goddamn thing. They had it up on the big screen. It looked like it was Bloodsport, a la Van Damme. It just, I guess
Depends on how hard you're trying.
Is everything a competition? No. Is this? I'll friend this kind of. God.
Okay. All right. Well, listen. We'll circle back. Alan, I'm going to throw it to you, but I purposely left this out. He had given up alcohol, exercised regularly, and slept 8 hours a night in anticipation for the showdown. So he was trying to give himself a biological advantage in the sport in order to win. So, is that something that makes a competition, air quote, more competitive, more of a win or lose? Like, can you? I would say a competition involves you being able to determine your outcome for better or worse. What do you think?
I don't know what you mean by that. Can you
like if I training or no training. So if I'm like, if I said today, oh, I can beat you in a mile. It's like, no, you can't. Let's go now. Or I said, hey, in 1 month, I'm going to beat you in the mile. Then I would train for 3 weeks, and then we would go at it, and I would have enhanced my ability to, you know what I mean? So in this situation, he's giving up alcohol. He's making sure his swimmers are ready and rocking, and he gets himself 8 hours of sleep. He makes sure his boys are primed for the competition. So it's almost as if he trained, right? Is that part of him?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's considered training. Like, I don't know, like probably like very strategic jack-offs. Like you can't let them build up in there and get all slow. But you got to let them out, and you can't let them all out. You know what I mean? Not all of them, obviously, but like, you know, you don't want to kill the whole stockpile all at once. Is all I'm saying. You got to find the right motility wheelhouse.
You make a good point here because, okay, as someone who just had a vasectomy, and I'm actually trying to go the opposite direction on this. I'm trying to lose this race at the best of my ability. And you know what? We're talking about it, and his whole point supposedly is to bring up fertility because fertility rates are so low in America. Like, what makes you more fertile? Like, so if he's creating a training regimen that, and like you said, if you're let's say you're trying to have a kid, do I want to blast one off and then hold off for a week? Do I want to bang out 3 in a day and then like give it 3 days and then those guys are ready and ramped because you got rid of the old guard. So you're actually kind of convincing me to go from foe to friend on this thing. Where do you stand?
Yeah, I think I'm a friend. I think it's a competition. There's a winner and a loser. Fucking, you've established some guidelines. It seems like. I mean, also I was reading this article, and it sounds like the person who started this is 17 years old.
Yeah, of course he is.
Which is fitting.
You have to be.
Yeah, like, but hey, man, do you think it's on FanDuel?
Well, you know what? If it gets enough attention, it might just very well be. Yeah, this kid was like 17, like raising money for this thing in his high school bathrooms, like convincing other people to like.
Yeah, and he got kicked out.
Yeah. So now he's 20. So now he's legal. So now I guess they can film this thing and put. But I mean, they're not showing anything terribly graphic. But no, I mean, I guess it's weird because it's like once you've released, like you're not involved anymore. I guess all the preparation, pardon the pun, comes before the competition, and then when the competition comes, then all the preparation that you've done is now it's in God's hands at that point. Yeah. So I don't know. I kind of feel like it's almost like you've trained a hamster to run the course the fastest, and then you just hope that you pick the right hamster comes out the chute.
That's fair. I like that. I like that description. But hey,
yeah, don't drink. Exercise. Get that cum ready to fucking roll.
Get those jizzes ready.
Well, I would say this. I mean, there's a lot of, and this IVF and everything's been in the news a lot recently because male fertility rates are down. I mean, if this is one of those things where if people start getting geared, even if you're not like I'm gonna be a professional jizz racer, like I'm gonna join the travel team. Listen, I will say this. Parents, listen up. If some guy comes knocking on your door and wants your kid to join his travel jizz racing team, you turn that man down, okay? But some of the technology or nutrition that comes out of like people maybe quasi taking this seriously might give people advice on how to maybe better themselves in their own real world life to like up their fertility rates and keep their boys healthy down there, keep their swimmers alive.
Dude, Sarah showed me this video of this guy narrating himself exercising, and he's basically the whole gist of it is the woman carries the child for 9 months. If what I need to do is I need to get myself in the best possible shape of my life 9 months leading up to this. And that means no drinking, eating a mostly vegan diet, exercising. Meanwhile, he's doing like crescent kicks at 12-foot targets. And Sarah shows me, like, see, you need, if we're going to think about this, you need to get in better shape. And I'm like, all right, look, I get what you're saying. One, I'm not giving up drinking for 9 months. Not happening.
at that.
Sorry.
No.
And I, no matter how hard I train, I'm not crescent kicking a fucking board at 12 feet. All right, this guy's, he needs to have his nuts cut off. That's fucking rude. He's planting the seed in women's minds.
Is she saying that, like, if you get pregnant or she gets pregnant, then you have to then make yourself into a fucking a killer?
Leading up to,
okay.
Like, I need to get in better shape come time.
To
procreate.
To make the baby. Got it.
Yeah.
Probably not wrong, but I mean, you ain't gonna crescent kick boards, but you should probably like eat better. Probably stop drinking for a little bit until you get pregnant. That's
I like it. No. What Alan just said, throw that out the window. Once she's pregnant, I would say like a buffer for you. This is something I kind of did. Is like spend that 9 months turning your body. I'm not saying into a crescent kicking machine or anything, but like you put in the effort to like make sure you have stamina because that kid's gonna be up all fucking night. You don't realize how much like 10 pounds is when you have to carry it everywhere all the time. Yeah, you want to get in shape, but maybe not to that level. But I mean, it also shows. But also, Wes, it shows you're putting in effort. But don't give up drinking. You're gonna need that shit.
Oh,
yeah, not like afterwards. I meant like to get pregnant.
William wouldn't be here if I gave up booze.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a drunken boot knocking session, bro.
Oh.
Dude, I know the night. One day I'll tell him. A lot of craft beers went into that fucking soup, boy.
All right, so we're all friending it ish.
I think we are. I think somehow old Tristan Milker has weaseled his way into the world of competitive sports. And with today's technology, I mean, the fact I kind of want to see like the 3D graphics that they make out of this. I mean, it's a microscope on a petri dish, and then.
Yeah, and 300 men going ape shit.
Go!
Go!
I listened to Bill Burr. He does a podcast with one of his buddies, and I think they were at the Masters or something. And like you guys know, you stay basically you park at one hole, and whatever hole they were at had one of the water hazards on it. And they said there were these two turtles on a rock. And they were so bored, they started betting on which turtle was going to jump in first. And I'm just like, that's what we do. We pick a winner and we go for it. That's how the world works. That's competition.
Competition, baby.
That's all we need.
Driving the cockles of our heart.
So I guess that's it. The friends have it, and that is your friend or foe.
All right, so we're going to end the friend or foe on that. We're going to roll into Fun Fact Friday. Mer, what do you got?
All right, let's get to it. 5 fun facts for you fuckers on a Friday. Brought to you, of course, by our good friend, the Cuckster. Make sure you check out the Cuckster. He's on both Instagram and the old TikTok. That's Cuckster for Life. Cuckster for Life on TikTok and Instagram. By the way, what's the real namesake of the Cuckster up to these days? He and Eric Bischoff, they're making some kind of like actual real wrestling league or some shit. Have you seen this?
No. The Hulkster and Eric Bischoff?
Hulkster, Eric Bischoff, and some other Momo are like apparently going to try to start up like a real wrestler, which is going to fail terribly, tragically.
Yeah, but I mean, the whole premise of wrestling is it's fake.
Yeah.
So how would you make it real?
Right. No one watches that. I feel bad for all the NCAA guys. I mean, they either immediately end their amateur career to go to professional, or they just
MMA,
or the high school somewhere in Northern Illinois.
Yeah, take their cauliflower ears and show everyone this is what you do.
But let's get to it. 5 fun facts for you fuckers on a Friday. Did you know land plants existed for approximately 220 to 370 million years before they developed flowers?
When was that first flower?
Well, that's what's odd. Is I mean, wouldn't that, evolutionarily speaking, like the flowers are to attract like insects to pollinate, right? So,
not all of them, but yeah, some, a decent amount.
So how are they? How was their sperm race going? Pre-flowerdom, I guess, is the point. I don't know. That's It's just weird to know that there were all these plants and they were around for hundreds of millions of years before they flowered. And the only way we know, this is like when Alan gave me shit about the bees, where I said we could pollinate things without the bees, and like, yeah, you're insane.
Can't do that.
Apparently they did it for a few hundred million years.
It was just all the dinosaurs smashing before they.
This is like, so do you think that all plants in existence right now flower?
No, I know they don't all flower.
So then obviously plants can propagate without without the requirement of a flower. Like, so you're like, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't make any sense because there are still plants, right? It'd be different if like plants. It'd be plants.
That's what I heard.
It would be different if plants that like at one point didn't flower and now all plants flower. And they've evolved into this. But nope, there are still plants that don't flower, and they fucking propagate too because roots.
Okay, but then I'm coming back. Okay, but then I'm falling back on the then why do we need bees argument, and you're kind of making my point for me.
Well, a lot of our flowering plants are food.
Okay.
And so bees repollinate shit.
Well, I do have. There is a problem with my argument now because all my pollinators are headed home. So, I guess we'll need them again.
Yeah, I mean, perhaps bees weren't around before flowers.
Well, I guess that would kind of be my point on like why they started flowering is because they were like, we got easy money right here. They're coming in, taking land, and so we'll make the flowers. We'll get what we want, and they get what they need. Yada yada. I'll have to read more into this, but did you know Pez Candy debuted the same year construction started on Mount Rushmore, 1927. It's weird because I don't know which one I thought was 1927. It feels like either Mount Rushmore's older or Pez should have been around longer. Like Pez is just pressed sugar with. That's all it is.
It's been around forever though.
1927.
Yeah, maybe they're talking about the dispenser. The actual.
Well, no, because I'm pretty sure like the old school ones were metal. There was like a spring-loaded metal. They were the same fucking thing. They're just profits. So fucking they stopped being metal and started being plastic. But yeah. That makes sense. Because what was Mount Rushmore?
1920. They're both 1927.
Oh, both 1927.
Yeah, so I mean, less than 100 years. I don't know. But that was just the beginning construction of Rushmore. But it just seems like Pez should be older than 1927. Again, just a pressed candy. By the way, I don't know. I can't remember. I'll have to look this up. There's a documentary. Wes, this guy reminds me of your fucking dad if he fucking went insane and became a collector. This guy ends up like going to like Czechoslovakia to pick up a fucking bag of like bootleg Pez fucking dispensers, like made by real Pez company, but not like because of like tariffs and things like that, not available in like the U.S. And he was basically a drug smuggler, but with Pez dispensers. It's the most amazing fucking like non-criminal criminal documentary that you'll ever see. It's so fucking whimsical, but the stakes are so high.
You should have taken a day out of your life to go to an antique auction with my dad. You would have seen the brighter side, the psychotic in him. God damn, that's good wood craftsmanship right there. Oh, look at that puppy. That's a piece of shit end table. No. I'm gonna stay in that.
That would have. Yeah, no, I definitely. Man, yeah, that would have been beautiful. I would have egged him on for shit he didn't want.
Look at that decoy. Oh boy. That is oh man, gotta have it.
Oh, your dad was a lover of interesting trinkets. Your house is riddled with them. It's
riddled, and it still is. It's my mom's gotten rid of none of them, and it's. I was there yesterday, and it was just like a walk down memory lane. Just an antique cabinet that he likely bought at one of these antique auctions, filled with decoys.
God, I'll probably get canceled for describing the picture, but when I went on my cross-country adventure, I was looking through, I was like, I need to send some postcards to some people, and I think it was in Arizona or New Mexico, and I found this postcard, and it was, let's just say it was from some men in shackles that that I was like, as soon as I saw it, it's like, Foxy, you'll love this. And he did. They were not of that ethnicity though. Not the instant cancellation ethnicity. They were Native Americans. All right, they were Native Americans. Jackals wearing suits, which made it even more interesting. Did you know?
God.
Let's see. Charles Dickens died in 1870, and 1 year later, the first pinball machine was patented.
No correlation, though, right?
No.
Didn't have like
I
a-
was going to say, is there a connection? Yeah, nope.
No. Just the fact that, you think of Charles Dickens, you think of old as shit, and then pinball machines, I think you think like 1970s, but no, 1870s.
Damn.
I feel like that makes sense.
I wonder if
It's
there's
not very complicated.
I don't know, man. There's this guy on one of my mail routes, and he quasi collects pinball machines. Dude, the intricacy of what these things do, especially like the ones, like the really good ones from like the late 80s, especially getting into the early 90s, right when like motherboards started being introduced into them.
Mm-hmm.
But there's like a lot of there's an actual like computer motherboard connected to all these like analog switches and things. Whew. The complications in those are fucking amazing. Still simple enough to like fix on your own, but so complicated that you better understand a wiring diagram.
Yeah,
That's
they
fair.
call it a Dickens diagram.
I think Tristan Milker has a good Dickens diagram for you. Did you know? When air conditioning was invented, there was no such thing as fingerprinting for criminal investigations.
Damn. If the robbers got done robbing what they robbed, and the thieves came back to an air-conditioned apartment. Like, better take these clothes off. Whew, feel good. All right, boys, what do we get?
One of the things I've thought about a lot, what year did you stop getting away with things? Because we talk about this, how like now there's cameras everywhere, cops get called, kids go to senior week, they get busted every 5 seconds for one thing or another. Like, what was the last, I mean, you don't have to be dead on, but like, what do you think, like the last year you could potentially get away with murder, move to another town, and just start a new life? Like, when was that?
Murder? I don't know. I thought it'd be like just robbing something, but you took another step. I don't know. 20, 21, 22?
Okay, early 20s?
Kind of right before you started looking for jobs.
Are you talking about like age of a... Alan, do you get my question?
I didn't hear the whole thing. My bad. Sorry, I was reading some.
Time?
Yeah, like when was the last year, do you think, like you could
yeah.
get away with like some
Probably
really...
When they started introducing DNA to forensics to that stuff. What was that?
1997? So OJ's the last one that got away with murder?
No. I mean, then irregularity.
Because, I don't know, I was thinking about, like, if you grew up in, like, the Old West and then you got into an altercation with a gentleman over a card game and you jabbed an ice pick into the back of his skull and you're like, well, looks like I'm headed out to Ohio. See you, boys. And then you just lived the rest of your life and nobody found you.
Yeah. Man, yeah. I could see robbing, thievery, things like that, or just like a manslaughter. Yeah, now, I mean, it's impossible. I would say the late 80s, early 90s.
Okay. I'll take 80s. I'll take 1980s, maybe.
Because there was that, remember we did that one with the guy who robbed the bank and then told his family on his deathbed.
Oh, yeah.
That was
least
me.
He was dying. At least he was dying.
Yeah, that was in the 70s. But he also created a whole new... How the hell he got his hands on a Social Security card and a birth certificate is beyond me. That's just... You can't do that shit now. You can't create new identities.
Definitely pre-digital. I mean, if it's pre-digital, you could get forgeries of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
They moved to another country. Although, they're pretty well locked in on that shit now, right? The investigative bodies are pretty intertwined.
I'd say it's probably because of us, though. We probably gave them all the technology they need to make sure grifters couldn't grift, man. God.
Yeah. Unless you want to, I don't know, fucking filter water in Sudan.
Yeah, no, I'll take take my time in prison, I guess.
Take your chances.
Same thing. And finally, did you know 331 years separated the founding of the Floridian cities of St. Augustine and Miami? St. Augustine founded in 1565 and Miami 1896.
You know, and I'm thinking about it. The founding of Miami, and then when Will Smith made Miami, is a shorter period than what you just said before that. Think about that.
Welcome to the city where the heat is on. All night in the streets till the break of dawn.
Yeah. I watched a video the other day of a guy who jet skied from Miami to Key West.
I have no reference.
How long is that? Yeah.
It's about 3 hours. He stopped midway to refuel. He had a direct path. He had done it a few times, but had a GoPro and was kind of narrating the whole thing, kind of pointing to the keys as he went down. It was you know, it's pretty interesting. Something I would never do, ever.
Dude, I'm tracking this bro on TikTok who decided, I mean, total bro, dude, probably like maybe 23 years old, must have scrapped together like every dollar he made as a bar back and bought himself a sailboat and decided he's going to sail off to Hawaii.
Oh, yeah,
and
I saw this.
Dude, he is, you can tell by like facial tics and things that he's losing his shit. He's had a few scares already. And the one thing, Alan, if you know the guy I'm talking about, watch his tongue. He licks the side of his mouth like every 5 seconds now. Like he's like,
Where'd he start?
He started in like Washington State.
Yeah.
Oh, I have seen
crossing
this.
the Pacific.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's got his dog with him or a cat.
Cat.
Yeah. I saw one of those like day 5. Yeah, it's getting pretty rough out here.
His eyes are all bugged up. He's wide-eyed. Keeps licking the side of his mouth. Shit keeps breaking on him. He's not a seasoned sailor.
So what's the goal? He's going to get to Hawaii and live life?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, look, dude, you're doing what you do in your 20s, you know? I applaud him. Well done. I mean, maybe next time start with a road trip and then buy a boat and set out like on the... Dude, the ocean is probably... I would say the ocean has killed a lot more people than land. I'll just throw that in the air. And so, good luck. I hope he makes it. I hope he does. But I hope he understands, like... This is... Oh, man, I'm such an evil bastard. I hope he does, but part of me's like, if he does, he's gonna fucking rub this in everybody he meets' face for the rest of his fucking life.
You know what I did? Bought a sailboat. Never sailed before. Took it from Washington, Honolulu, by myself. Just me and the cat. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Kill me
Yeah.
now, please.
Yeah, that's exactly what would happen. Personality switch immediately.
I fucking did it because I'm the man. It's the only way.
It's the only way possible.
Put my cum in a petri dish. See how fast that fucker goes.
Fucking, he'll blow a hole right through the back of it.
And that, my friends, is your Fun Fact Friday.
Real quick, wrapping up tonight's episode on Before You Go. OnlyFans Anna Polly plunges to her death while filming an adult scene on a balcony. That's right, folks. In Brazil, I don't necessarily know if there's any footage out there to be had, but Ana Beatrix Pereira Alves, known as Anna Polly, on her OnlyFans page, was found dead on the ground floor of a courtyard at a 4-star Mont Blanc apart hotel in Nova Icania, January. After, quote, an intense love-making scene. I don't know if there's any love being made, reportedly sent the Brazil bombshell head over heels off the balcony. Check this. At the time of the tragic incident, the 27-year-old is believed to have been in the middle of video recording sescapades involving 2 men who gave conflicting testimony to the investigators, the outlet reported. I'm really curious as to what the conflicting, like, I was in the back and he was in the front. I was doing the thrusting. No, not me. No.
You know,
I wasn't the thrust that sent her.
thrust her around the world.
Yeah. If you guys want to give you a glimpse of young Anna Polly.
I was trying to find a good picture of her. Yeah.
Okay.
So that one. She's all right.
Oh, it's something creepy about Reba popping up around the side there.
She's got a new show coming out.
Oh man, look, man. I mean, I guess it had to be. Hold on, it had to have been filmed though, right?
I mean, I would assume.
Yeah. By the way, Murad, that'd give you another. Just sorry, I didn't like to tie this up here. Reed was going to be there creepily, but yeah, there you go.
Yeah, no, it's all right. I appreciate it. Yeah, that works. I mean,
I assume there would have to be footage, raw somewhere. If you did,
raw's the word.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those like faces of death things. I'm sure if you rabbit hole your way through the dark web, you can find. It's like oh, wow, no.
Hey, look. Bottom line is consensual sex. You decided to do it on a balcony. Buyer beware. I don't know. It sucks. I mean, it's a tragedy. Anytime someone that beautiful and young dies, it's a tragedy. I mean, ugly and old, fine, A-okay. But look, don't do weird shit. You don't win weird prizes. Sorry.
Yeah,
it's reasonable.
Yeah, who was it? Was it not David Cassidy? Who was the? He was Bill and
David Carradine.
David Carradine, who choked himself while he was jerking off.
Hey, it's a 1.5 times more powerful orgasm, sir. That extra half percentage point, it's worth it.
The buyer beware.
You just gotta commit.
Why wouldn't you do that with like a partner or something though? Like why? Same thing happened to the guy from NXS, Michael Hutchins.
Is that what happened?
He tied a noose and decided to get silly with himself.
I think it was a belt, and I think it got caught, and he just see you later. Yeah,
Jesus.
Yeah, who thinks of that? Like, and then who reads it? Like, oh, I mean, especially back then. I mean, David Carradine should have known better. But like in excess, I mean, Michael Hutchins died in like the early '90s. Like, it wasn't like exactly the internet going around. Like,
yeah, and he got away with it. Remember?
What?
Did you say like when you could get away with things?
You're right. Well, no, apparently he didn't. I mean, like, but you know what I mean? Like, did you just run into some guy at a bar and he's like, listen, you're putting a belt around your neck and whack off for 30 minutes? What? Like, I mean, this wasn't a Reddit page. This is like, I heard it. I heard it at the cantina.
Caught the right ears at the right time. He probably told that to thousands of other people, and they're like, oh, look, man, I'm just going to go home to my bed or office chair and do it the old fashioned way. And this guy, Michael Hutchins, was like,
So you slammed the belt in the door frame. Okay. All right. And then we lean. Okay.
Yeah. What if I freebase some crack beforehand? Oh, even better. Even better. You might need to get a fire extinguisher out after that puppy.
Terrible.
Well, that is, before you go, rest in peace, Anna Polly. I hope, they said the investigation's still ongoing. God knows what they're investigating. The two culprits are there. It's Jose and Jose.
I hope Pornhub puts a banner up on the homepage for you.
Yeah.
The commemorative, Pornhub, obituary, if you will.
Yeah.
Or if they should do like a dramatization. You know what I mean?
Unsolved mysteries with narration.
Yeah, we want the whole thing. We want to see what it looked like without the death.
Folks, we need to brief you that this is adult content about to be shown. This is the moment where she was being tag teamed by two professionals.
I was going to say, or the part in which she died was a very crucial plot point to the porno. And what are we supposed to do? The show must go on, as they say. You got to finish that.
The director was telling us
you can fix it in post. You just use AI, use ChatGPT.
Oh, I thought they maybe just threw in like the sound person who happened to be a woman, or they made the two Jose's whack off.
Yeah, I was gonna say like Jose and Rodrigo are like, uh-oh.
It's crazy.
Tonight, Alan, tell all the people who enjoy deaths in their porn where you can find the middle class list?
Pornhub.com. Go to Pornhub.com just because. Why not? Check it out. Give it a look-see. There's some cartoons on there. Porn cartoons. And just run-of-the-mill porn. But if you want to see more of us for some fucking weird reason, check us out at MDL Classholes on Instagram and Twitter. We're the Middle Classholes on Facebook and TikTok and YouTube and maybe Pornhub sometime soon. Who knows? So yeah, check us out. Keith, emails.
That's right. You need a little email. Tonight on This Week in Classholes History, exactly 5 years ago, we published a slew. Actually, it was like 30 or 40. We were up till 1 a.m. reviewing good, bad movies that listeners submitted. Not going to go over them all, but this one is the most watched on YouTube. Politically Correct University, a.k.a. PCU, which we gave a good review to because we all love that movie. Go, hey, ho, ho. Something's got to go. I forget the. God damn it!
I forget it.
Yep, not gonna happen.
The Port something whooping cranes. Portchester whooping cranes.
Portchester
I have a
whooping
t-shirt.
cranes.
I should have wore the goddamn t-shirt. That's what we were talking about when we opened the show, folks. Enjoy that. We'll see you next week. Lastly, we have Eli Sauer, who submitted one of my favorites. I don't know if I categorize it as a good, bad movie, but we'll see what the consensus says. PCU, Politically Correct University. God, what a good movie. Take it away.
It was definitely ahead of its time. I mean, look at that PCU. Look where we are now, and look what that whole movie was about.
Yeah, it is very true.
Jeremy Piven, Jon Favreau, David Spade.
That was it. Yeah, David Spade.
David Spade was in that?
Yeah, he's the antagonist.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Rand McPherson.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of good. Man, I still say shit. I still say that weasel snagged the bee.
Yeah. I still say go to sleep. Go to sleep.
Go to sleep.
Yeah, he'll do that.
Total nightmare.
Oh God, it's such a good film.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Parliament Funkadelic.
Yeah, I still fucking rib you about wearing the shirt of the band you're going to see. Don't be that guy. Yeah, absolutely.
No, and that's one of those movies where I think it did convince people that didn't deserve to go to college that they should go to college, and that movie might be responsible for amassing, I'm going to say about 25% of all the student loan debt in the United States right now, because that movie glamorized college so much. From what I can remember, there wasn't a whole lot about academics in that movie. It was more about just all the debauchery and stupidity, and this is college life. That's coming of age.
They had people protesting social standards, women's rights, etc., etc. It wasn't just about partying.
God, the tool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, what I will argue is that this got a 47% on Rotten Tomatoes. If you want to say anything below 50 is a bad movie, I don't know. I just think that this isn't slammed. This isn't this is a bad movie that's good. That's my lone criticism. At least anyone I know.
So you're saying that this is a bad movie that's good rather than a good?
No, I think this is a decent movie that's good.
That makes sense.
No, it's not a bad. It's not a bad movie.
I don't think it's a bad movie.
The critics didn't slay it.
Yeah, but I do think
it's
it
like
falls
3
in
Men
that
and a
category.
Baby.
No, it's not 3 Men and a Baby.
Yeah, that's a little. Those three were fucking huge stars when that film came out. The studio thought they were onto something,
and it did. It got 70% on Tomatoes.
This is more of an Encino Man or something of that ilk.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, no. Your problem is that I love that movie.
Yeah, I love it too.
Well, there's no problem with that. That's the point of this. It's like, I mean, the way I'm looking at it is a lot of the movies that we find to be really good, bad movies is they aren't necessarily movies that people in our parents' generation would appreciate or enjoy. They're movies that are like perfectly, I don't know, reflective of us and our generation and what we find funny and what we find humorous. And they have to be clever. And PCU is a clever movie because, like I said, it's a college movie that's about everything but college. It's about the lifestyle of college, and it's probably, as Alan has already proven, it's shaped a lot of who we are.
Is it better than Old School?
Ooh. I would probably say for me they're even.
They're pretty even. I'd say Old School was like better produced and had a much heavier hitters for the time, but PCU, for having folks that weren't necessarily heavy hitters for the time, definitely catapults it to at least even level. But dude, come on, Old School's legendary. I mean, PCU's a little more like closet legendary.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Oh, I don't know. Well, that was it. And then the guy at the end. What's the television show he has to watch as part of his thesis? And he figures it out at the end. He's watching.
He's watching Michael Caine and Gene Hackman movies. He gets to fucking. Oh, damn it! What movie is it? Bridge Over the River Kwai? No, that's not it. I'll get back to it. He freaks out. He's like, Caine and Hackman in the same movie. This is my thesis.
No, well, wait. Wasn't it that Caine or Hackman were on at the same time at any given?
I think his whole thesis is that Caine and Hackman are in like some absurd percentage of like cinema, like they're in everything.
But I thought the
whole thing.
I thought the point was that between the two of them, they're on the air all the time, 24 hours a day, and then he gets to the focal point where they meet.
Both in it, yeah. And he's just like, holy shit. Yeah. A Bridge Too Far. That's the name of the movie.
I do enjoy when Piven's handing out the theses. And
yes.
It's like, Sanskrit. It's like, you're studying a 5,000-year-old dead language. Latin. This is what I have.
That's all I got.
It's Latin. I don't know. Christ. I'm glad I got to talk about it, though.
Yeah, me too. When you said, or like Pootie Tang, when you said you were going to cut Pootie Tang, I was like, nah, I want to talk about it.
Nah. we talking Pootie Tang, bro.
It's been so long since I've seen some of these movies. I'm glad we went through them to kind of go back and revisit them and discover why they are good bad movies.